I'm standing in front of a locked gate with two sheriff's deputies watching, while Brenda Whitmore, the HOA president who's already called 911 on me 3 times this week, screams that I'm trespassing on her community's private road. Her face is beet red, finger jabbing at my chest, demanding I be arrested right now. I let her rant finish, then calmly pull out my phone, open the county recorder app, and turn the screen toward her. Ma'am, I say evenly, you just put a padlock on my road. This entire valley, 12,200 acres, is mine, including the ground your $800,000 house sits on. Oh, and I also own the spring that supplies water to your whole subdivision. The color drains from her face like someone yanked a plug. The deputies exchange glances. One clears his throat and suddenly becomes fascinated with his boots. I'll let the silence hang for a second because, honestly, that moment deserved to breathe. But let's back up 3 months to how a simple plan to restore my grandfather's old cabin turned into a full-blown masterclass on what happens when a power-tripping Karen picks a fight with the actual owner of everything around her. It all starts with my grandfather. Everyone called him Pop. In 1952, he homesteaded this stunning box canyon in the Colorado mountains. 1,200 acres of thick pine forest, a crystal-clear spring-fed creek, and silence so profound you could hear your own heartbeat. He filed the federal land patent, built the cabin by hand with logs he felled himself, and raised my mom there. No electricity until 73, no phone until 86, just mountains, hard work, and a life that made everything else feel small. I spent every summer from age 6 to 18 up there. Pop taught me to fish the creek, red animal tracks, stack firewood so tight a chipmunk couldn't sneak through. The cabin always smelled like pine sap and fresh coffee, porch facing east for those golden sunrises that turned the whole valley magical. Then 1989 rolled around. Pop was 73, facing medical bills, and a developer named Robert Castellano showed up wanting to build homes. Pop didn't want a subdivision ruining his valley, but he was practical. They struck a deal. Pop sold just 45 acres, the flat meadow at the lower end, for houses. Conditions were clear. The road stays mine. The spring stays mine. Leave the upper valley alone. Paper signed, clean deal. By 1994, 6 nice homes sat there. Pop waved at the new neighbors, shared venison, sometimes peaceful coexistence. Pop passed in 2010 from a quick heart attack, the way he'd have wanted. I inherited everything. Cabin, land, the remaining acres minus those 45. But I was buried in my Seattle tech job, cybersecurity, 80-hour weeks, burnout city. The cabin sat empty. I paid taxes faithfully, but didn't visit for 15 years. Then, in 2025, I hit the wall. Code, till 2 a.m., energy drinks, imposter syndrome. I was 30-something and didn't recognize my life. I needed out. The cabin called me back. Remote work, fresh air, restoration project. Perfect. I called the county in April about repair permits. The clerk said, "Oh, you mean that old place in Pine Ridge Estates?" Pine Ridge? What? Turns out the subdivision had grown while I was gone. New builder in 2018 added 34 more homes, total 40 now, and they formed an HOA. That same day, voicemail. Brenda Whitmore, HOA president, concerned about the abandoned structure at the upper end, needs to discuss community standards. I figured I'd show up, introduce myself, maybe bring cookies. Famous last words. What I didn't know, Brenda had turned the HOA into her personal empire. Volunteered as president in 2018, ran unopposed, then created her own property management LLC and got the board to hire her at $3,000 per month. She pocketed a slice of the $3,600 annual dues per household. Control was profit. Her husband Roger had been a county planning commissioner until 2019, voted to approve the expansion in 2017, while Brenda's LLC was already in play. Ethics issue, he retired quietly. She guarded her little kingdom fiercely. Late April, I drove up, truck loaded with tools, gear, groceries. Bluebird day, 72 degrees, Pop would have called it God showing off. New stone pillars at the entrance, iron sign, Pine Ridge Estates, private community. Then a quarter mile in, heavy chain link gate, keypad, Camera, residence only sign. No alternate route. This road was the only way in. I called the HOA number, left messages, waited 45 minutes. Nothing. So I parked, grabbed my backpack, and started walking around the gate. That's when Brenda's black SUV came flying up, gravel flying. She jumped out, phone already recording. "Sir, you're trespassing on private property. I've called the sheriff." My introduction to the legend herself. I tried explaining ownership. She cut me off. "No residences above the subdivision. That structure's condemned. Leave or be arrested." Deputy arrived. I showed docs, tax records, photos, estate letter. Brenda showed attitude. "Deputy, this is civil, not criminal. Give him access or go to court." She grudgingly punched in the code, 742968. "This isn't over," she hissed. Cabin was rough, broken windows, mice, leaky roof, but solid. Pop built to last. Cleaning up, I found a hidden fireproof safe in the closet. Combo, my birth year. Inside, jackpot. Original 1952 land patent, 1,200 acres. Fee simple absolute. 1989 survey maps. Subdivision fully within the 45 sold acres. Purchase agreement with highlighted clause. Buyer retains easement for road access, but pays $1,000 annual maintenance fee, escalating 3% to seller. Unpaid since 2010 equals $47,000 owed. Easement terminated after 1 year default. Plus 1968 water rights certificate. Pop's senior claim predated everything. I owned the road, the spring, the valley. They were trespassing for 15 years. I called my mom's old roommate, Sylvia Chun, real estate attorney in Denver. She called back grinning. "Marcus, you've got a nuclear option. They owe you money. You control their water." Checkmate. We filed notice, sent certified letters, 72 hours to remove obstructions. They ignored it. So, with surveyor Ray Thornton, Pop's old friend, I filmed myself reading a statement, then cut the chain with massive bolt cutters. Gate dragged aside. New signs up, private road, access by permission only. Chaos followed. Their lawyer threatened restraining order, bogus code complaints, emergency HOA meeting with $5,000 special assessment per household to fund lawsuit. Board member Thomas secretly visited, shocked at the lies. Brenda's SUV creeping past my cabin at 2 a.m. on trail cam. Court hearing. Judge reviewed docs, denied restraining order, gave them 2 weeks to find proof they owned anything. They didn't. Then the second gate, at the county highway junction, on their 45 acres, blocked my exit. Trench dug across the road, emergency drainage. Stop work order issued. I could have shut off the spring water, senior rights, but that would have made me the villain. Leverage, not destruction. Journalist Teresa Ruiz found the story on Reddit, wrote a viral article exposing the lies, conflict of interest, fake ownership claims. 8,000 shares fast. Board, minus Brenda, requested meeting. They apologized, learned the truth. I offered fair terms, perpetual easement for them. They acknowledged my ownership, pay back fees over 10 years, $118/household/year. Joint maintenance. All gates removed except at my cabin. Brenda tried one last desperate lawsuit, fake illegal business claims, but included trespass photos of my property. Cell phone. Board ousted her as chair. Membership voted 29-4 to negotiate. Settlement signed in court. Judge commended the compromise. Brenda and Roger sold, moved to Utah. She showed up once, defeated, apologized. I needed to be right. I didn't stop at winning. I placed 800 upper acres under permanent conservation easement. Never developable wildlife corridor forever. Opened a 3.2-mile public hiking trail. Started the Pop Holloway Memorial Scholarship. $5,000 plus annually for county seniors studying conservation/stewardship. Community match funds. Trail opening day drew 100 plus people. Property values rose 8% because of the protected land next door. Now the valley has a historical marker at the entrance. Kids hike the trail, scholarship recipients are off to college, and Pop's legacy is bigger than any fight. The best revenge? building something that outlasts the drama. The land is safe, shared, and forever wild. If you've got your own HOA story, drop it below. Know your rights, document everything, and when you win, build instead of burn. Cheers to Pop.